What better place to talk about a creepy haunted suicide forest than a forest? Hey guys, so I'm back today, and today I'm going to talk about the Aokigahara forest in Japan, which is a forest which is infamous for suicide. Hundreds of people every single year go to Aokigahara to commit suicide. It's supposed to be extremely haunted. Compasses do not work in the forest. There is no wildlife in the forest. There's very little sun. People who've gone there say that it's almost as if the sound is saturated by some kind of veil. People often report leaving feeling exhausted and like they've had energy drained from them. And it's extremely easy for even experienced hikers to get lost within Aokigahara. So obviously, with suicide being an extremely common occurrence in Aokigahara, people dying there all the time, it's gotta be haunted. People will often take of theirs there with them, and people go into the forest, find the stuff laying around, like dolls, clothes, creepy things, bodies everywhere. I mean, just think about Jake Paul or Logan Paul. I can't tell the difference. Is that racist? Maybe. Whichever one of them it was went into Aokigahara and found a body hanging and put up a video about it. I found some experiences that people have had, paranormal experiences that people have had in the forest. I'm going to read some of those to you. We thought this was another guy out there, but then we noticed that there was no detail to this person, no color. It was as if he was just a shadow without any features. He also seemed to be following us, but he was way off the trail, just out in the trees, and there was not sound of footsteps or crunching leaves. This was strange, but it got stranger when I watched the figure pass behind some trees. I expected to see him come back out from behind the trees, but instead, he was suddenly about 10 meters ahead, as if he had just teleported. There is no way anyone could have covered that distance without me noticing it. After some time of this, the strange intruder stood there watching us and then just faded away right before our eyes. My friend and I were quick to head back. That was really creepy. I would have shit my pants. Here's the next story. We heard what sounded like a woman weeping. It was very strange, but got more alarming when it seemed to actually get louder. We thought it might be someone out there in trouble, so we headed off the trail to see if we could find this person. It was odd, because as we made our way to what we thought was the source of the crying, it seemed to move farther away, leading us deeper into the woods. Oh my god, that is the scariest thing. It's like luring them in deeper. Making it all scarier was the sound the crying seemed to get more desperate and anguished as we pursued it. We called out to whoever it was, but they did not respond. They just cried. We got pretty deep in the woods, this crying eluding us the whole time, until we finally seemed to be getting closer to the source. The crying got louder and louder. We were almost there, and then it suddenly stopped, just stopped altogether. We were a bit bewildered, and then my friend sort of gasped some points, and there, hanging from a tree, was a noose, holding the remains of what had once been a woman. We got out there fast and contacted the authorities. It was another suicide. I've always wondered if what we heard was the ghost of the woman leading us to her forgotten corpse. Here's another story. My wife began having what I can only call episodes. She would suddenly fall into a sort of trance where she would totally space out, totally unresponsive. Then she would snap out of it and she would have no memory of it. This began to happen more and more often, and I thought she was perhaps having some sort of effect from stress. Then one day she started talking in her sleep in a voice that was not her own, talking about people who we did not know. My wife never talks in her sleep, and this was not her voice. We eventually visited a Shinto priest, and her condition stopped. I feel to this day that something followed us back from that forest, although I'm not sure what. And here's the last one. I began to have memories of people I did not know. These memories came to me unbidden and just popped into my head as clear as day. As I walked on, I started to get this deep sense of despondency, fleeting images of sadness in my head. It was unbearable. But what made it even worse was that I began to hear this whispering in my ear, this insistent voice that told me to end it all. I started to feel that I wanted to die. I felt compelled to kill myself, and I might have if I had had the means to do it. I sat down right there in the forest as this voice whispered to me, and it was the most crushing sense of loneliness and despair I had ever experienced. When another hiker came through, this wave of angst just lifted and I was myself again. I can't quite explain it, but I feel like something visited me there in that forest and tried to take me. That leaves like a weird feeling in my stomach. I do not like it. Anyhow, that is all for this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. and tell me down below what kinds of videos should I make in the future, what do you want to see videos about, anything at all. It doesn't have to be like paranormal or conspiracy, but like anything, seriously, tell me, please. And subscribe, and share this channel.